What's up, y'all? It's Mace Blanco on 610 from G's to Millions. I don't need Clout the podcast. This is episode 7. We're back again with another episode, and today we're talking about censorship. And censorship isn't about getting completely banned and wiped off of a platform, but it's damn near the same thing. You heard about people being blackballed or being blacklisted or shadow banned, and I want to talk about all that today. And with that being said, the I Don't Need Clout the podcast is now available on Rumble. We're on kick.com and we're on Twitch for live streaming. Really trying to get into the IRL content, give them like the Aiden Ross type of experience, but in our own way, definitely with a lot less gay jokes. And this update of us branching into these different platforms, this is really heavy dependent on the idea that these platforms are more so conservative and they don't alter your ability to have your freedom of speech on their platform. I know with the I Don't Need Clout podcast, we do some edgy content sometimes. We talk about things that might be highly offensive to some people, especially if you're overweight or if you're a feminist or just extremely liberal or extremely on the left. Yeah, man, I just want to, get out in front of it, be able to say what we want to say without being censored or demonetized. And this really comes from one of my favorite podcasts, Fresh and Fit. They had just been demonetized by YouTube today. Myron, I know he was damn near in tears. What he's been working on for the last 3 years, building this brand, building this platform, bringing in guests, putting on these panels, really pushing the masculinity, giving guys tips on how to be the best possible version of themselves and what that looks like and the results that you get from that. With them being demonetized, man, that shit crushed me. I know he was damn near in tears. I hope that they move to Rumble and Twitch and kick.com like the rest of us are doing so that we continue to have our freedom of speech. And I'm going to go ahead and share. All right, make sure you check us out. This is the link where we are on all platforms. You can use this one link to get connected to us on anywhere that you listen to podcasts. I Don't Need Clout podcast website, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, our newly added Twitch, Rumble, and kick.com. We're on iHeartRadio, Amazon, Castbox, Radio Public, and of course, Instagram. And why I think I want to touch on why I think Fresh and Fit was demonetized on YouTube. They push masculinity, which I think there's an attack on masculinity. I think we can agree on that. If you don't agree with that, I just encourage that you do some research and look into it. It just so happens that every guy, even the channels that are run by women, like Just Pearly Things, she was kicked off of TikTok for a comment. She called someone a whale in an argument where the woman had threatened her first and actually charged at her and tried to fight her. And that was enough to get her kicked off of TikTok. So these very liberal, left-leaning platforms are extremely sensitive. Obviously, it's not something that you promote on a regular basis where you're just coming at people, but it definitely comes with the game. And it seems like there's not much consequence for people that start these altercations, but it's definitely a lot to lose on the table for people that run these channels. So this content, it's generally called the Red Pill Society. And if you're not familiar with the Red Pill Society, I would definitely encourage you to look into it. But basically, it kind of comes from The Matrix. If you ever seen The Matrix, the main character was given the option to take the red pill or the blue pill. You probably heard a lot of references about that. But basically, the red pill, if he takes the red pill, which he did take, it enables him to understand what is actually going on outside of the illusion created by the Matrix. And then the blue pill would allow him to return to experiencing the illusion. So when we say Red Pill Society, that's really like the people that are, and I hate to use the term woke because I feel like woke people are the blue pill poppers, but it really allows you to open up your, I hate to even use these cliche terms, but like your third eye, basically. Like you really know what's going on. You take the red pill, it's kind of like you embark on a journey of learning more about how things actually work and not just what you've been told. I highly encourage everybody to look into the Red Pill Society type of content. It'll definitely open your eyes up to a lot of things. It will 100% change the way that you approach the world and then try to break out of this matrix. But the problem is, I think a lot of people are just comfortable within the matrix, within the way things are, or at least the way that they understand how things are. It's kind of too much work for a lot of people to research stuff and to look into all of the what they labeled conspiracies. I wouldn't call myself a conspiracy theorist, but there's a lot of things out there that I really question if it's really the truth or not. And then the more that you start to uncover as far as things that you were told were a certain way and you realize that it's the complete opposite, the more things that you start to catch on to, the more you feel like you're a part of this red pill society where it's a certain amount of people or a certain group of people that really understand what's going on, what agendas are being pushed, the things that they want you to stay away from. And again, this is all really going back to the fresh and fit content. Them being demonetized by YouTube, which is owned by Google, to me was a huge red flag that I need to relocate the main platform for my content. And I've been on YouTube from the beginning, watching the Soulja Boy videos, all of that type of stuff. When he was the first rapper to do all types of different things, he really was. He was like a pioneer on the vlog type of content. We've evolved since then, and I feel like even Soulja Boy, these different content creators, it's going to be better to be on different platforms like Rumble. For example, YouTube pays you like 3 cents for every 1,000 views. Rumble will pay you like 25, 30 cents for every 1,000 views as a content creator. So really migrating your audience to a platform where you have more control over the profits that you bring in is definitely going to help you as a content creator. Also, just get you closer with your core fan base, because the people that are really listening to you, they're gonna follow you to whatever platform you're dropping on. Thankfully, we're damn near everywhere right now. I'm not saying that I don't want a YouTube partnership, because it's definitely in the plans for me. But I just know that making this type of edgy content or speaking on things that go against the agenda, that are more red pill society and not just the blue pill society, the do what you're told society, I definitely don't fall into the blue pill society. So I'm just getting out in front of it. I'm expecting to be banned from YouTube one day. I'm expecting to be banned from Facebook one day. I'm expected to be banned from Instagram one day. The platforms where I really have a chance would be Twitter, or X is what it's now called, Twitch, Kick, Rumble. So definitely, if I disappear randomly, you know where to find me. And I think it's a misconception when you get kicked off of a platform or you get banned and they don't give you any reason to why you were banned. Like, you got the Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, the Tate brothers, both kicked off of Instagram. You can't find their content on Instagram. I posted an Andrew Tate interview where I think he was talking to Aiden Ross, but he was basically saying your ancestors went through XYZ. They fought off saber-toothed tigers. They hunted. They made shelter. They were nomads. They went all these different places and endured all these type of conditions for you to just smoke weed and jerk off all day. And that they would be ashamed of you, that you're 40, 50 pounds, 60 pounds, 100 pounds overweight. And they did all this sacrifice for you to fucking jerk off on your couch and fucking stay home and not do shit and collect unemployment and spend your food stamps to continue eating. And that video, I swear to you, I got like 27,000 followers on my main page. That video got like 40 views. Nah, I probably went up to like 500, but I'm just saying the ratio to the content that I normally put out. And in that video, I could clearly tell the fact that it was a Tate video, an Andrew Tate interview. It was shadow banned. My followers didn't see it. Barely anyone's seen it. I feel like you would have had to come to my page and see it in my post for you to see it. There was a significant decrease in interaction on that video for no given reason. And the content was solid, man. I feel like that's some real solid advice. Not necessarily just advice, but something to be conscious of, to think about the luxuries that we have today, the technology that we have access to, the economic access that we have. For you to take that for granted, where you're not doing anything dangerous, your life's not in danger, you're not fighting off animals, you're not fighting for your life every day, you're not hunting for your food, you're not making fires with sticks. For you to just take all those luxuries for granted and not push yourself to your potential or even close to your potential is definitely some shame that comes with that. But the blue pill poppers, the people that just want to live in the illusion and do what they're told and do what everyone else is doing, that's not something that they want to think about. Like, when you challenge somebody with the truth or challenge them with that hard pill to swallow, that red pill, that's when they get upset. That's when they get offended and they feel like they're being attacked. When you start mentioning the truth and they start feeling like they're attacked, that's when you'll start to get people reporting your page. When you get enough people that band together and report your page, that's when your content gets shadow banned. It really limits your ability to have success on these real liberal platforms. So more content creators that I like Sneeko. Sneeko comes with the solid content, the masculine content. And I think my favorite out of everybody who's not as edgy, who's just straight masculinity type of content, a guy that's older, that speaks about things in his late 40s that he wishes that he knew in his 20s for people to be able to listen to and digest and apply to their own life, is Bedros Keuilian. I see Bedros on all of the pages where they use his audio voiceovers to put on motivational videos where he says, plan your morning. I wake up at 5:30 every morning. I get a workout in. He drinks a liter of water. You know, he just eats a real protein-based diet. He gets it done, man. And I feel like even somebody like that, I mean, we got to protect these people at all costs. The media will really spin the narrative that these are real bad people. Even Bedros, man, like this guy's a real genuine guy, helps out a lot of men. He really saved people's lives. And when I say that, I mean from them committing suicide. He even had an incident where they were on a plane and he was trained enough to hold somebody down. They were having this episode where they were just going crazy. They were going to hurt people. And he was able to use his strength and his training in martial arts to basically minimize the situation and hold that person until they landed. I'm pretty sure they made an emergency landing, but situations like that, man, you want masculine men to be able to step up and handle situations. Damn near first responders. The people that are there already are going to be there quicker than the first responders. And if they can react in a way where they can get the situation under control, those are the type of men that we want in our societies. And Bedros said it the best, man. You want to be a very strong masculine presence. You want to be able to be a gentleman, but also be able to be a savage when necessary. Like, you got to be capable of violence. And a lot of people might not agree with that, or they might take it the wrong way. But realistically, violence is inevitable in a lot of parts of the world. There's damn near no place where no violence occurs, right? You have to be capable of violence. If you have a family, if you're a man, not even like I would suggest and advocate for every man to own firearms if you are mentally stable enough to do so, and get the proper training and get gun safety, get well aware of the laws in your state. Is different everywhere. But I definitely encourage every man, especially with the family, to have a firearm and carry it wherever you can, concealed carry if you can. It can really save lives, and it really keeps your family safe. I know I feel much safer as a firearm owner knowing that my family is has a higher probability of survival in a dangerous situation because I'm carrying my firearm. And another thing that's considered edgy that a lot of liberals don't want to admit, or they don't like to talk about, or they don't want to acknowledge, is our gender roles in society. And like I said about the firearm thing, right? Someone breaks into your house in the middle of the night. 99.9% of the time, the man is going to be the one to hold down the house and protect it and be the security internally, right? You might call the cops. What's the average response time for a police officer? Let's see. The average response time for a police officer. Researchers found that the average police response time was around 10 minutes. Department of Homeland Security research revealed that the average duration of an active shooter incident at a school is 12.5 minutes, yet the average response time for law enforcement is 18 minutes. So I know this was a joke. I feel like this was a joke on Grand Theft Auto Radio, like back on San Andreas, but where they're talking about calling the police and somebody broke into your house with a gun. If you got 20 fucking minutes, this guy done already fucking, if you're not a firearm owner, you don't have your firearm close by, you don't have good hand-to-hand combat skills, this guy might have beat the shit out of you already, tied you up, raped your wife, and been smoking a cigarette on the front porch by the time the cops fucking get there. He might have done all that, smoked a cigarette, put it out, and left before the cops got there. Like, you could do a lot of fucking damage in 20 minutes. So again, as men, we have to be capable. We have to be able to protect our families. It is just in our human nature that we're going to be able to fight against other men if this situation arises. That's why I said you got to be a gentleman and be capable of violence. You got to be a gentleman and a savage. And while you're doing that, if you have kids, especially if you have boys, you're going to be leading by example. You're going to be able to teach them these gender norms that we like to ignore. But like I said, there's a certain situation that's going to call for men, especially in emergency situations. That's just what it's going to be. And while you're leading by example, you really have to teach your kids however you see fit. There is no rule book or no playbook or no blueprint or anything like that when it comes to raising your kids. That is completely up to you. That is completely your choice. I mean, obviously, you would want to teach them good morals and good character and good ethics. You know, kids are born with some of these things, right? But then they become sponges and they soak up everything that they see. So you really got to lead by example, especially in these gender areas, right? Like there's going to be some gray area. There's definitely going to be some things that overlap. Men are good at some things, women are good at other things, but you can't let the liberal media dictate that we're all equal. We all have the same exact roles. It's just not true. Women can do a lot of things that men can do, and they do it damn well. I would agree with that. I will give them that. I will praise them for that, right? But when it comes to some shit that really requires some strength, that really requires some courage, that requires fighting off other men, right? In these situations, we're talking about one male intruder versus the man of the household. What if there's 5 male intruders? What if there's 10? And people say that might not be very realistic. I would encourage you again to look into these situations. You're going to need to be prepared for the worst possible circumstance, and that is a man's job to be prepared and have his family in a good position and a safe position to be able to up their probability and their chances of survival. And that's really what this is about. And I really do believe with everything in me that falls on the man. Obviously, the woman would aid some support and some help and some assistance in preparation. But when shit hits the fan, men are going to need to go at it with other men. You're going to be called to be a savage in that moment. You got to do anything by any means to protect your family, and that is necessary. So I really find it upsetting. When these different podcasters are being labeled as terrorists or bad influences to society. And then they're getting banned and they're being demonetized. And when you take money out of the channel, you take resources from them. You don't allow them to expand their reach to the potential that it could, just because it doesn't match your agenda of what you're trying to push with equality between genders. This is bullshit. There's no way around that. This is some bullshit. So make sure you continue to listen to I Don't Need Clout, the podcast. We're going to give it to you raw. I'm going to give you real opinions. I'm not going to be worried about being banned on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or any of these liberal platforms. You'll be able to find my content on Rumble, on Twitch, on Kick.com, looking for that streaming deal. This is I Don't Need Clout, the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us, drop a comment, show some love. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what topics you want us to talk about. We'll always give you the truth. I'll give you a raw and uncut opinion. I don't care who bans us. I'm actually planning on being banned one day in the future. Not trying to speak that into existence, but I know that the Blue Pill Society does not want to hear this content. They don't want to hear the truth. They want you to do what you're told and not question it. So I will step into the Red Pill Society, be one of the leaders, be one of the faces of people that will give you true information, anti-vax, all that type of shit. Mace Blanco on 610 from G's to Millions. I Don't Need Clout, the podcast. I'll see you next time. I'll see you on the other side.